Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Beyond Parody. My name is Dan Dillon. I am your host, and I'm joined by my typical panel, my co-host, Robin.
Hi, everybody. Merry almost Christmas.
Travis Woodside.
Happy Christmas. I don't know what accent that
an
was.
Indian accent?
I was like, I'll do Indian, but it sounded more Japanese.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Mr. B.
Feliz Navidad.
You went the other direction.
Mexican.
With his accent.
Still didn't sound Mexican, though.
You guys, I'm feeling very festive today. It is our office party day where we are going to have all different types of food, a smorgasbord, if you will,
Nice.
and exchange gifts. We do Secret Santas, and we all have to guess who the Secret Santa was, and just have a good old jolly time. And I'm wearing my festive sweater, and I hope that everybody else is in the mood.
There seems to be a problem. I don't think I got my invitation.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm sorry, guys. You know what?
Awkward.
We're generous, but we're not generous enough to fly people here for this.
That's okay.
Your
okay.
gift,
Travis and Mr. B and I are going to have our own party on Zoom later.
Yeah.
Nothing like a Zoom holiday party.
My gift to you guys is not having to fly during the holiday season.
Yeah, no good.
That is a
nice,
great
actually.
gift. I'm very grateful.
If I could steer clear of Atlanta, I'd be very happy.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. You've been stuck in Atlanta in some pretty bad situations, huh, Mr. B?
Multiple times. I had a planes, trains, and automobiles experience that you know about, and it ended in me renting a U-Haul to drive back to Florida because there was nothing.
That was my
John
recommendation.
Candy drive you?
That was my recommendation too.
He was in the back. He was in the back singing polka songs to me.
Polka, polka, polka. I am the daughter of a pilot, and as a non-rev, if you know what that term means, and he was a Delta pilot. I have been stuck as a standby in the Atlanta airport because it's a Delta hub more times. And we always say Atlanta is where non-revs go to die. You just don't want to go to Atlanta if you're flying standby. It's brutal.
You know, it's funny because Atlanta is the only airport where I've missed my flight.
Wow,
However,
we all have.
It was my fault because I sat down to wait and I was on my iPad playing Dragon's Lair. I was like, do. And then finally I'm like, when are they going to call for the flight? So I go and ask the person. They're like, oh, that left already.
Oh, Travis.
Oh,
Dragon Slayer, gotcha.
All I heard was Dragon Slayer. Do you like Space Ace too?
Space Ace. Yeah, Space Ace was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm into that technology.
I'm more of a King's Quest man.
Yeah, travel during the holidays really sucks, especially if you're flying. Yesterday, was it yesterday that this happened? I'm going to share nobody got hurt or killed in this plane crash, but a plane crash video, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw.
This is on Highway 95, about 2 hours north of where I'm at, right up by my wife's family. It lives up by Merritt Island, and this is the exit they get off on here on 95. So this is driving south. This plane comes in from the top right here. Watch this. This is crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
They're still in the freeway.
Oh, jeez. And nobody got hurt?
Nobody was even injured.
That's insane.
Wow.
So the car saved the plane in some respects, and the plane somehow landed on the back of the car and only on the back of the car.
That.
And you can see if you watch this and forensic analysis,
look,
right here you
up.
can see that the prop on the left side is not spinning.
Yeah.
So the prop was spinning ahead of time, but I think that was just from the wind. I think that both engines were dead, which is why you're landing on a highway.
Right.
But the props were spinning. But if the props had still been actually functioning, that just cuts through the car right there. Sure. Kills somebody.
Dan,
driving?
You're studying to get your pilot license right now. You're working on that. Let me ask you this question. Do you think the pilot landed on the car intentionally to absorb some of that kinetic energy?
No. The pilot was going to land where the pilot was going to land with at this point in time. He was banking, he overshot the highway and then was turning back. He was just going to end up landing where he was going to land. You know, there's no ability in a plane like this there's no air brakes or anything like that. So you're just drifting basically. It is interesting. It does look like potentially they could have tried to. There's no center wall here to the left, so they could have tried to kind of steer a little bit further left, because right here he could have floated a little bit and not come down right on this. But I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge.
Well, he probably couldn't see the car exactly either.
It's tough too. Yeah. From here, he could have seen the car. From here, he probably couldn't. So he may not have known that he was going to come down right on top of it. It was two 27-year-olds. I think it was two training pilots or instructors going out on an instruction flight. Maybe one instructor was learning their multi-engine or something like that.
Z instructors.
Here's the question too: does Progressive cover a plane landing on your car, or that's not in their policy?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Does and what kind of insurance does this plane owner have? That's a pretty. The good news is that nobody got hurt. It's miraculous that nobody got hurt. And then the NTSB is saying that it was the wrong decision to try and land on the highway. And I'm familiar with the area. To the right of that, right there is swamp. Like if this person probably knew the area very well, is why this person chose to land on the highway. So I think they'll be exonerated from that. So
and nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what's crazier than that?
I do.
We're gonna go straight to our blue hair breakdown early in the show.
Yes.
This is a blue. I'm gonna call this one a blue haired freestyle. Hold on, let me close the other.
Why do they rap?
Well, I would call this a rap. This is definitely something. All right, here we go. This is this is a blue-haired freestyle. This is a poem
with a mask on.
This is a poem written by somebody who's still into masks. I'm a little frustrated that there isn't actually blue hair, but it is pretty short.
See your face. Well, I miss being safe. There is violence in disease. Please tell me again how you disagree with the scientific studies as you mock disability. It wasn't to learn better and do better.
This is such a coffee shop freestyle poetry night type of thing, right? Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
Also, I like how I'm sure she wants us to call her he, but how she didn't even memorize it. She's reading it as she's going.
Understand that we all share air together, and that to continue to center my own comfort and pleasure is to do the work of the oppressor. You cave to the pressure to uphold the status quo, to throw up your hands and say, well, that's just the way things go when Black or trans or other marginalized folks are disproportionate.
Marginalized folks.
Do you guys remember in Mr. Deeds when Al Sharpton gives the eulogy and then Mr. Deeds goes up and gives the eulogy and does the rhymes, and Al Sharpton's like, nice rhyme. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Al Sharpton, the rhyme master. Oh, that's a funny part. That's one of the few things Al Sharpton's done in his life that I really appreciate. That was really funny. Anyway,
coming too sick to leave their homes, you post Columbus, but your actions condone the very same practices the colonizers honed. And if it isn't enough to care about others, the numbers don't lie. You are going to suffer. If you don't want to listen, you can't say we didn't warn you. It may feel easy now to ignore and conform to the normalization of chronic illness and pain, but it does beg the question, why do you have the right to maim? You can
snap.
Complain about staying at home for a few months. Meanwhile, your children develop scar tissue on their lungs. Long COVID now higher in children than asthma. Just more evidence we fall for their propaganda. Because they tried to say kids aren't harmed by the virus, but tell that to myalgic encephalomyelitis. Every break in transmission prevents death and disability. Is it really that hard to wear a respirator to get groceries? Believe me, I don't want this to be the reality, but it can't be ignored when it's spread.
What year is it right now? It's 2025, right? Like, what is she talking about?
Spreading so rapidly. If you wonder if you would have cared during the AIDS crisis, you're doing it now, but it's not too late.
I was alive during the AIDS crisis.
I was too.
AIDS crisis is it's a lot easier to avoid getting AIDS than it is to avoid getting COVID, by the way.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. And I still cared. I was like, Magic Johnson.
Yeah. I bet that poem was AI generated. It sounds like, because my kids love to have ChatGPT write poems. They'll give it like the essence, like write me a poem about mom making me do the dishes and make it, 8 stanzas long and make it that she's the bad guy. And it writes great poems and it's good with the rhymes.
If you're rhyming condone and hone, it's either AI or you're an idiot.
Or you're Eminem. You're a poet.
Eminem doesn't do perfect rhymes, but Eminem is freaking a rap god.
Eminem is very smart.
Eminem is extremely talented.
He's extremely talented. He's one
putting
of my
together
favorite.
Those bars. You know what I mean?
We have our kids. There's actually like an NPR video explaining Eminem's rap formulas, and we have had our kids watch it. It's very scientific, and it's a great way to explain how rhyming structures work. It's very white.
Very white. Okay, so talking about more white, we're going to do a double header. We're going to do a double header Blue Hair Breakdown. So I'm going to share this. This is a response to Pantone choosing Cloud Dancer, which is a shade of white as the color of the year. These are the types of videos that I cannot believe are real, but I think
thought
they
this was
actually
fake.
are.
But I looked up this lady. As much as I can tell, she's a real woman.
It's not parody, as far as I can tell.
It's beyond parody.
This is
people are just crazy.
Beyond parody, right here. Here we go.
Hey, Pantone, you're fired.
You're fired.
You really chose white. You chose white in these times.
She's a white chick with blonde hair.
You're fired.
In these times, you chose white.
These times.
This is Katie Rogers Feng Shui. I know the danger of that kind of messaging, and I'm not having it. I'm not having
So
it.
I'm burning
No
green.
way.
Really, 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 really bad choice.
Someone at Pantone's going, actually, it's Cloud Dancer.
It's Cloud Dancer.
It's not white. Yeah.
Dan, will you allow me to take a screenshot of this and AI video, image to video, and have her hair catch on fire, or I'm not allowed to do that?
I think you can do whatever you want with AI.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
She, you know what? Good for her.
Well,
She's got something to keep her motivated in life.
Yeah, we all need hobbies.
Every
That's
year
true.
they release their color of the year, and as a woman with 2 X chromosomes, I follow this kind of stuff. It just pops up in my, atmosphere, and I always enjoy it. They're usually cool colors. They're like, ooh, this crazy mauve was the color of the year. It's weird that it is white this year because it's kind of a bland color. It makes me feel a little
Cloud
sad.
Dancer.
It's Cloud Dancer. Not because of a racial thing. It makes me feel a little sad that our decorating style is just sort of off white right now, which is sort of boring. But I would have no political feelings about it. White is a color. Snow is white. Is snow racist? Is the song I'm dreaming of?
Travis is white.
Travis is white.
Am I racist?
Are you racist?
He is also a cloud dancer.
He's also.
What's interesting to me about this story is that I have learned that this Pantone is picking a color of the year, which is for me that's
I think it's super important.
Well, you
I
have
think
an
that's a
XY
super important
chromosome,
thing.
Travis, so you're
That's
not
true.
supposed to follow this sort of stuff.
I wonder if does the color of the year
Yeah.
correspond to anything? Is it the most picked color of the year?
Yeah, it's like the color that was used the most in home interior design. And I usually enjoy ooh, that's cool to know. I'm going to use that color now, but not off-white, not this eggshell. I use eggshell in my house anyway. I'd like to know a new cool poppy color. Yeah.
My wife, the one I know is Revere. It's like Paul Revere gray or something like that. My wife makes everything that color.
Ours is sleek white by Bear. Our entire house is sleek white by Bear.
Dan, is that the color of your underwear? You have to look because you don't know.
If I get underwear that's not Revere gray, I have to paint it that way, and it's very uncomfortable. I crunch as I walk around throughout the day. It's not good.
Coffee out Robin's nose almost. That was close.
I must spit water out of it. That's great.
All right, so I'll let you talk about this one, Robin. This you seemed really giddy about this story, but here is a photo shared by JoJo, who is some
JoJo from Jers.
Random just influencer, leftist influencer who what did she do? JoJo. What did she do? Let me look at her thing. She's just a Democrat.
She's just a Democrat lady, whatever. She's like a Harry Sisson, but older and ladier. This photo of JD Vance went viral. He's in a white t-shirt and he's in a restaurant. People were like, this is a photo of JD Vance yelling at Usha in a restaurant in DC. He was just seen. I have fallen for AI hoaxes. Let's just say this. And anybody knows, especially on our work Slack channel, I have thrown stuff up and 10 seconds later, someone's like, that's fake. I'm like, I fell for it. But I'm smart enough to know that the vice president of the United States is not just out at some random restaurant in a white t-shirt yelling at his wife in public. Like, I just have 2 brain cells, maybe not many more, but enough to rub together. So she posted this and she said, anyone who's ever looked into the face of an abusive partner knows it on sight. And so,
oh man.
JD Vance reshared one of the, not hers, and he said, yes, I'm always known to be out in public in a white t-shirt yelling at my wife. Like, that's just who I am.
Yeah, yelling loudly at my wife. I mean, to be honest, to be fair to those, to Joe, it's not just on its surface an obviously AI photo. Like there's obvious AI
quality,
photos. Yeah. And the fact that it's kind of low quality makes it seem less likely to be AI, but AI can emulate low quality photos. People may or may not know that, but it can do that.
It's getting better.
JD Vance does not drink white wine either, so I'm just saying that was the real.
Yeah, he's wearing a white undershirt, white t-shirt, and drinking white wine. You know, it's like so fancy. I'm trying to look at the things that might indicate that it is an AI photo. Zooming in on it, kind of. I don't know, number of fingers.
I just knew that
it's all blurry. So yeah,
there is ice in this glass, and it does look like it would be a drink that uses ice. That's good.
Ice in a martini glass? I don't know what martini has. I guess if you get
yeah. I get not if you're doing a martini. I guess it's not. I guess maybe that doesn't make sense.
A Cosmo.
Yeah. Well, it was Usha's drink. It looks like she's drinking heavily because he's yelling at her. The thing about this is that people's faces in pictures often look grotesque or weird or crazy or whatever. It's like where they, maybe AOC is not the best example because she looks crazy all the time. But you take that one frame still of them and they look absolutely insane. And it's just a part of their conversational face that you take one snapshot of it. But this went viral. I mean, it went viral.
Oh, it did.
On the left with people sharing it, talking about how he's obviously an abuser.
Travis, look at the picture. And what is he saying to her?
Raccoons. So he's not even angry at her. He's just really intense about the story.
He's telling her about how raccoons are being domesticated. It's actually something that's happening, apparently, based upon
we've got a secret government organization that domesticates raccoons. And we're going to send them to spy on the Russians.
I was laughing at this because my husband, I was looking at this picture and thinking, my husband is one of the funniest people on the face of the planet. And I could see that being a picture of him doing some voice at me at dinner. And I'm like, honey, you got to stop. Like, I'm going to lose it. I'm laughing so hard. And he's like, oh, I can't even do it. My husband is he's a legit comedian. He's super funny. And we go out to dinner all the time. And I'm like, stop. You got to stop making this voice in public. It is so funny, but I'm going to die. Who knows? He could be explaining Call of Duty to her. And she's just like, just stop. Please stop. I just can't. But he's an abusive partner.
I like the reality of this picture. If it was real, that he's in, because he's in DC. It's not like he's somewhere else on vacation.
Looks like he was in a
He just got off work essentially, and he's like, I'm going to take off my suit and I'm just going to go into this restaurant. Like, why would he do that? It's just such a weird. And it looks like a nice restaurant.
There are obviously terrible humans, and there are men who are abusive, and that's awful. And I don't want to I'm not trying to make a joke about that. I'm just saying in this particular photo, that's
speaking of AI generated photos, is that not an AI generated profile photo if I've ever seen one? I mean, that
are we sure she's real?
100%.
Her eyeballs are a little bit too big for that. Something doesn't look quite right about that.
She's an anime.
I'm not 100% sure that this person is real. I know that when you look on their little thing, it shows that she's in the United States, account based in the United States, which is one thing to check these days. Downloaded via the United States App Store, but I don't know. When you have an AI profile, who knows? This is probably AI too.
That's
does this person actually exist? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows who these people are? But
I'm not even sure she landed on the moon.
No, that was
faked.
I told you guys last time about the guy who sent in the Lance Armstrong on the moon to us, right? Did I tell you about that?
Lance Armstrong on the moon?
The best submission we've ever had at the Babylon Bee for a writer was a letter that we received, a handwritten letter of somebody applying to become a writer at the Babylon Bee, and that no explanation at all for the joke. Just, I don't even know that they knew that it was a joke. They said, I'm an excellent cartoonist and writer or something along those lines. And he just sent a picture of Lance Armstrong on his bike on the moon.
That he had drawn?
And that was it. That was it.
Wow.
That was the joke. That was the whole joke. I guess the joke is that Neil Armstrong and Lance Armstrong have the same last name.
That's the joke, yeah.
And the big reveal is, guys, that was Travis.
Oh.
Travis Armstrong. Travis Armstrong.
Why didn't you hire him?
I don't even know that there was a way to even get in touch with the person. It was just a letter.
Forgot to leave his contact information.
Send a letter back to them, and I don't even know. My hand cramps if I have to write a check.
Be honest. Was it Kyle? Was that Kyle Mann? Is that how he got hired?
That's how he got it.
That's Travis. That's how Travis got hired. That's what I was saying.
Guys, somebody with that type of wit and intellect should be working at the Babylon Bee.
Seriously.
It is a shame. So that person's out there somewhere right now, probably putting what's the other guy? The musician Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. Oh, Louis Armstrong on the moon. Probably working on that one right now.
Over there.
Armstrong Garden Center is on the moon.
And Stretch Armstrong.
Armstrong.
He's the best Armstrong. You gotta do that.
Stretch Armstrong was an alien.
Was he?
That's why he could stretch.
Like, really? He was?
An illegal alien. It was not.
I want to hear more about that. As an aside, my son gets in the car yesterday after I picked him up from junior high, and there's a vanity plate in front of the car we were driving in that said alien or something. He's like, Mom, I actually found out recently that Neil Armstrong backwards is alien. Like, that's kind of weird, isn't it? What? And so we had this whole long conversation about faking the moon landing. And I'm like, dude, do you think really if they faked it that they would be that obvious with a little Easter egg in there? And he just never heard of that. He's like, but it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? It's weird. Like, Neil.
Then you go, no.
You never know. That's weird.
Speaking of faking the moon landing, Elon had an interview this week where he talked about that. And I don't know that I have the clip of that. If anybody wants to look and see, because he's basically, he fully defends the fact that we went to the moon, which we did. Sure. But Elon sat down for an interview with Katie Miller, and she asked him whether he would ever do Doge again. And his answer is kind of long and rambling, so I'm not going to play this particular video. But he basically said, no, I think I would focus on my car, like SpaceX and Tesla and stuff like that, because otherwise people wouldn't be burning my cars. But she asked a follow-up question, and this is a really interesting answer. I'll just play this clip. It's a short clip. Who do you look up to the most? And his answer, it honestly surprised me. And we'll play the clip below of when we interviewed Elon a couple of years ago, and his similar response to a similar question. Well, dissimilar response to a similar question. So
who do you look up to the most?
The Creator.
What's your current position on God?
God is the Creator.
You don't believe in God, though, do you?
Well, I believe this universe came from something. People have different labels.
It's interesting. He's gone from, it sounds like, atheist to agnostic-ish, like not agnostic, but more.
Yeah, that's not agnostic. It's
I didn't mean agnostic. It's
there's a word like intelligent design almost, or
he can't pinpoint a religion, but he believes in a higher power.
Right. Yeah. Not agnostic, but what's the word for that? What's the specific word for that I'm trying to
deist? I don't even know.
Yeah,
deist maybe.
But they, that line of thought and train of thought always leads to, well, it could be aliens. The higher power could be anything that's outside of our known universe or whatever, right? Like anything that we know.
And he has brought up like the idea of the Earth being a simulation before too.
So the creator could just be some guy sitting in his basement in a different universe who created this really hyper complex world where we all have our own intelligence and stuff like that. But it's different. It's a different response than what he said here when he was responding to the Babylon Bee when we were interviewing him. So let me play this clip.
We're wondering if you could do us a quick solid and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Personal Lord and Savior. It's a quick prayer.
I mean, let's just say, like, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated. and there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings.
So he believes in a creator, and he believes in the teachings of Jesus Christ. So I mean, there's not a huge is it gap to bridge? Is that bridge to gap? Is that what
Bridge
you say?
to gap.
Yeah, you say bridge to gap, but I'm thinking about it. It's like, does that make sense? Bridge to gap.
Gap to bridge. No.
It's a gap that you have to bridge, right? Like it's not a bridge you have to gap.
It's a chasm to jump.
Right.
Like, why is that phrase? Why is that phrase that way?
You have to build a bridge over the gap. I get you.
I think that he could bridge it. He could gap a bridge or bridge gap. I think that SpaceX and Tesla, the engineers there, could figure out either one of those things. But it sounds like he's softening his opinion on these things a little bit, which is a very interesting development.
Yeah.
And something that I think that we're all excited to see. I mean, when you spend enough time in sciences, in reality, if you're open-minded and you're looking at the universe, you do not see randomness, and you do not see blind chance, and you don't see what you see is you see order, you see programming, you see purpose, you see you see all of those things the deeper you get. And obviously Elon is so involved in all this stuff. It's like you can't look at the complexity of biological life even and think that it came from some primordial stew. I mean, you have to if you don't believe in God, which is, why a lot of these theories about our, origins exist, because you have to come up with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting to see it through the lens of children too, not to talk about my kids all the time, but when they learn things like the Fibonacci sequence, they're like, Mom, how? Like, where does
Kids
this...
are learning the Fibonacci sequence?
Mine are.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the repeating mathematical geometrical equation that expands larger with every time it halves or something. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. It's
it's the cousin of pi, basically.
Yeah.
Pi's cousin. Are they married?
Well,
no,
because they're not supposed to be.
They're not supposed
the
to. The
Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, starting with 0 and 1. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So it's a formula. It's a function.
Okay.
That's the Fibonacci sequence. Anyway,
it repeats in nature all over the place. You see it in flowers, you see it in animals, and it's this repeating pattern that you see in nature that's replicatable, it's definable, and it's very interesting to study it, especially with kids, and explain to them how these things came about. Like, how do you get this math in nature that is on one continent and is the exact same on a different continent?
Sure.
Hold on. I'm going to ask ChatGPT something real quick. I'm going to ask ChatGPT straight up, how do you explain irreducibly complex organisms within the realm of evolution? Let's see what it says. Let's see how it responds.
Tool wrote an entire while you're doing that. Tool wrote an entire song, their song "Lateralus," in using the Fibonacci sequence as rhythm in the song. It's crazy if you know it and you go listen to the song. I'm sure 2 of our listeners will be interested in this.
Anyway, this thing is a horrible answer to this. So the idea of irreducible complexity is that, okay, so say the eyeball, right? So say we're evolving. And we need eyes, right? So something knows that we need eyes, right? Like something within our biological existence feels like, hey, it would be really nice if, as an organism, I had eyeballs so I could see things, right?
It'd be pretty sweet.
I don't know what that thing is, but something tells you that. Well, what comes first, the eyeball or the eye socket, right? So evolution teaches you that there's no wasted components in evolution, basically, right? Like you don't develop things that you don't need. The only things that stay as you reproduce are the things that are that are helpful, right? Well, empty eye sockets certainly aren't helpful, right? Like, so
there's vestigial components, things like our appendix and our tailbone that are left over from who knows what. But I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
No, it's not really. That's kind of the opposite. That's like when you don't need anything anymore, you leave it behind. If that was how evolution works, well, then evolution, you would never develop eye sockets first before you develop eyes, right? Because eye sockets don't do anything on their own. But you can't have eyes without eye sockets, right? So the evolutionary process doesn't logically make any sense. In order to get eyeballs during the same generation, you have to get both of these two things. You have to get eye sockets and eyeballs. Oh, and by the way, a connection to the brain. Otherwise, your body is wasting energy developing these things, putting eyeballs in there that don't serve any purpose until all of the little things that are inside of your eyes that actually allow you to see light develop over the course of 1 million years. So there's 1 million years of generations of this species that have this unnecessary component to their body that's taking energy, taking away from it until eventually it's a positive. So even if you do believe in evolution and say that you do actually believe that that's what happens, which is what evolutionary biologists have to believe in order to get to where we're at, you have to believe that. Well, then there has to be some sort of guiding person. And I think that's where Elon's at. There has to be somebody who's guiding that process, because otherwise it goes against the laws of nature to do it. Like, it goes against the laws of nature in order to develop those things. You have to have losses. You have to have things that you're developing, that you have a longer term vision of what this is eventually going to be. Otherwise you wouldn't do it, because you would be wasting all of those precious resources of energy in order to develop those things. Anyway, I'm not trying to go off on a huge tangent here, but
we already did vaccines, so I'm not going to engage on evolution. I'll just plead the fifth.
You're allowed to believe in evolution, but in order to believe in evolution, if you want to, you have to take just as many leaps of faith as believing in a creator. The best knowledge you have to try and convert Robin away from evolution.
It's not a conversion. I don't know. I think it takes millions and millions of years. It's a very lengthy process, and
6,000 years exactly.
6,000 years
exactly.
to the dot. And that's all I'll say about that.
It takes millions of years to do what?
Well, to pick out these processes, there's a lot of trial and error, and we branch off and get different groups, different taxonomies of nature and humans. And evolution isn't. This is what I teach my kids. It's not it's not like a cafeteria where you walk past an item and you pick it up, and it doesn't always solve for the most effective evolutionary iteration. You just are trying to survive. It's not even necessarily trying to thrive. It's just trying to get a species that can replicate. That's the whole purpose of evolution. But now I feel like I've lost it, and now no one will ever talk to me ever again. So I will.
And thriving means being able to reproduce at a higher number than you.
Sure, but it doesn't. I mean, it's why we still have cancer. We get cancer. People also.
But I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. How do you get to a point, if it takes time to develop that, how do you ever get there? Because if you're not reproducing at a higher level than you are at the very beginning, you die out in the first generation.
Well, yeah, but you get selection bias. You're breeding for the best possible traits, and the traits that don't replicate.
But what I'm saying is that in order for evolution to work, every single species that comes into existence in its first iteration has to produce more than it dies. It produces poor iterations for a long time until it's able to. I mean, but you can see this in labs and mice. You see it with puppies. I mean, we do forced. But you haven't answered the question. It has, but that's a very important trait, is that you produce more puppies or more babies that for your lifespan and your expected death percentages, the offspring ends up at a higher number than the original. That's something that in evolution is desirable, right? But the thing is, it's not just desirable, it's absolutely necessary. So you have to get it right the first time, every single time when a new species develops. You have to get it right on the first iteration. Otherwise, you can't have a second iteration. There isn't a second iteration because they're all dead. Well, so you have to do the 1 in a billion thing a billion times to get a billion species. You have to do the 1 in a billion thing a billion times.
We have it's just there's many, many years to to plow through. I'm listening to a very interesting book right now called The History of the Ancient World, which I actually think a lot of our listeners would like. Susan Wiseman wrote it, and it starts with the first known records of civilization, and it goes through the Mesopotamia and the Euphrates and the Indus River Valley. And it's been really interesting for me to listen to actual recorded stories of people in 4000 BC. And her whole point of the book, not to deflect, evolution's an interesting topic, but I'm not a biologist. I'm not an expert on any of it. I just
we had wasn't he a molecular biologist or evolutionary biologist?
Evolutionary biologist, yeah. He should come on and talk about this more.
But we weren't talking about the specific subject. We were talking about stuff that we agree on, which is that genders and sex are binary.
And that shrimp are to be married.
Yeah,
I mean, Robin, I want to hear about the rest of your book thing. Finish your point there because I was very interested.
Oh no, it's just an interesting book, and it really gives you an interesting perspective on. She says there were obviously people before this, but they didn't write down any of their records, so we don't know anything about them. But
because they're idiots.
She opens the book with this story of this princess back in 4000 BC in Upper Mesopotamia who pits herself against her sister. They're both married off to the same king, and it's this true story of this drama that we've discovered through years of ancient poetry and things, and it kind of humanizes these ancient peoples, and it's been really interesting. I've been listening to it in the car while I drive around carpool because I'm in the car for 20 hours a day. And sometimes you think we're so evolved, or not to use that word, we're so advanced intellectually now, but back in the day, you had these kings that ruled. One of the stories she talks about a king that ruled for 64 years, and he went out on the ceremonial hippo hunt when he was 90, and he got gored or crushed to death by a hippo, and that's how he died in 4700 BC. It's crazy that we have these stories from these peoples, but
that sounds like Game of Thrones.
It does actually really. So the names that we have sound exactly like the names from Dune. I'm I think that who wrote Dune?
Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert. Yeah, I think it's Irrational and all of these names that sound very similar to the names in the book. I'm did he rip off Dune names from the Indus River
What was
Valley?
the name of the book again that you were talking about?
History of. I'll get it. It's the history of ancient peoples, and it's. I've been listening only exclusively to nonfiction this year. It's kind of been my. The History of the Ancient World by Susan Weisbauer from the earliest account to the fall of Rome. It's very good. It's 25 hours long, and I am 3 hours into it. So
sounds good, though.
It's very good. We should do a Beyond Parody book review hour. I'd love to hear what everybody's reading.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I like
Travis, what are you reading?
I typed in Susan Wiles first. I'm oh, that's Trump's chief of staff, or at least was.
She also is a historian. She wrote The History of the Ancient World.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to make an important statement. I just wanted you guys to like and comment on this video if you could, and also subscribe to our channel. It helps us a ton in the YouTube algorithm if you guys can do that for us. YouTube does not like to show our videos to anybody. In fact, we're slightly shadow banned. If you search for Not the Bee in the YouTube search bar, it does not even come up with our channel. The only way for us to fight that is for YouTube to feel like people really engage with and like our content. And if so, they'll share it with more people. So please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that every time we publish a video, you get notified. Thanks. So anyway, evolution. Let's evolve this conversation to a different topic.
Sure.
Anyway, from the evolutionary standpoint, I would love to have somebody on and discuss this stuff. There's always responses to the stuff that an evolutionary biologist would have. For instance, to the eyeball thing, they might say, well, there's an in-between phase. Both the eye socket and the eyeball develop at the exact same time, and they're simpler. Like Mr. B said, they're simpler at the beginning, and then they get more complex. But again, the thing that's important is you need to know that an eye is going to be valuable to that species before you go and waste the energy developing it. It's not, otherwise you're just saying it's literally just random stuff happening, randomness, completely dictating where this thing goes. Randomness does not lead to order. It does not lead to order. It doesn't lead to something that's superior to the original product. When you take a code base and you were to do if you randomized all the characters in a code base for a computer program, you're not going to get a better computer program than what you had before. You're going to get a worse computer program than you had before. Adding randomness does not add order. And evolution, each successive generation has to have more information than the previous generation because their DNA code is getting longer. And that information has to be ordered. And the whole point of what I'm saying is, well, maybe somebody can have some responses to very specific things like the eye socket eyeball thing, but you still have to explain where the infusion of information comes from. And it can't just be randomness. If you believe it's randomness, you're believing in something that is far, 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 far more unlikely to be true than believing in a greater power, which I think is exactly where Elon Musk has ended up. So bringing that all 20 minutes later back full circle, I think that's how Elon has ended up where he's at, because when you look at all of this stuff, you just have to say there's something behind it, whether it's a dude in his basement making a computer simulation or not.
Dan,
what?
Speaking of books and randomness, is there any plug for a book that you read recently?
Yeah, well, I will give the plug. So my dad wrote a book about this topic. So the book is called Randomness Happens for a Reason, What the Arbitrary Experiences of Life Reveal About the Heart of God. And it is on Amazon. I believe you can still buy a print version, but there were only a certain amount of the print version made. I think it's a digital copy. Let me share my screen if anybody wants to look at this. So this isn't exactly talking about what I'm talking about here, but it is talking about how randomness works in the universe, in our lives, and how God uses randomness in our daily lives. And it's a great book.
I had the privilege of reading this before it was released. I don't know if you call that proofing. And I was enthralled by the book, and I highly recommend it.
You have the most accomplished family, Dan. Like, I've met your mom, and obviously I know you and Seth, and now I know your dad writes books. It's crazy. Like, what are they putting in the water? Wherever it was you guys grew up, I want to zero in on that with my kids, with my boys, because you guys have done something pretty good.
Dan, didn't you guys grow up near a nuclear power plant or no?
Oh, there we go. Accelerated evolution. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
I've been reading
gets it in there.
I've been reading a good book too. If I could have a second.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So it's called The Bible.
Ooh.
Good job, Travis. Good job. Did you just have that sitting right there?
I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My dad.
Travis, why did you write my name in the front of that Bible?
Well, so that people think I wrote it, and then when they ask me, "Oh, you're a famous author," and I just go, "Actually, I'll tell you who the real author is," and then that's how you start your gospel message. I don't do that.
All right. So speaking of whiteness and Pantone colors and things, do you feel a significant amount of white guilt in your day-to-day life, Travis?
Every day. Oh, Travis.
Yeah, not you, Robin. I know you do.
Guilt about everything.
No, I do not.
You don't feel guilty.
I feel like a normal person.
Don't you? You don't think that we should be teaching our kids to feel guilty for being white? Also, you don't agree with that?
No, I tell them it's okay to feel guilty for being a terrible sinner, but not for anything else.
Well, Kentucky State Rep Sarah Stalker, nice last name, Democrat.
That's a cool name.
She disagrees with you. I mean, she disagrees with you wholeheartedly. So let's listen to what she has to say about white guilt and white privilege and what we should be doing about teaching kids to hate themselves, basically, in our public school systems. This is good stuff right here.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day. Because it's a point of privilege.
Oh my God.
I move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do.
How many family members does she have that aren't white?
And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman.
What is a woman?
If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of even greater privilege.
How dare you, madam?
Look, that's a good faith.
I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad. So we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
Can you imagine being so
racism.
brainwashed that you loathe yourself every day?
That's the whole purpose of the education system, it seems like these days, is to confuse kids and to make them hate themselves, which is weird.
I bet she doesn't even think Lance Armstrong landed on the moon.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's so sad. What a sad way. It's funny. I talk to I'm talking about my kids this whole episode, but that's all I spend time with. But I have boys and I tell them all the time, like, it's good to be a boy. You should be proud of the fact that you're a boy and a young man. It's a part of your identity. It's part of who you are. There are good things that you can focus on. And sure, there are some bad things that maybe we could talk about, that, you need to treat women well and you need to be respectful. But to internalize to kids that their whiteness makes them somehow culpable in some greater societal evil is just so psychologically damaging. I can't imagine living day to day with that kind of a mindset.
She feels guilt and she just needs everybody else to feel that way too. Like, it's not right for them to go about their lives happy. It's not right for them to go about their lives just thinking that they're good and born in a good body and are deserving of love and all the other things that they deserve. But no, they need to go about feeling bad about who they are. Right. We went in one generation. We went in one generation from the you're perfect the way that you are, like just the way you are, to you need to hate yourself no matter what. If for these specific reasons, and the more privileged you are, the more you need to hate yourself. Like that's what we've done in one generation. Not, 25 years ago. I mean that the message was you're beautiful just the way you are, and people were upset about that too, because you're literally teaching people that they were perfect the way that they were, even living in sin, even living in gluttony, whatever it is that they were living with. That messaging was wrong in some ways, but it was a lot more right than the messaging that we're getting now, which is that you're horrible the way you are. Everybody should hear the fact that you're horrible the way that you are to a certain extent, like from the standpoint of that we're all born sinners, right? Like we've all fallen away and we're all sinners. But that's not the message that they're getting. They're not hearing that there's redemption in Christ. They're not hearing anything like that. They're hearing just simply that you are a horrible person and that you simply need to be held down so that other people can be held up. There's no redemption. There's no redemption other than repentance to those who are less privileged than you, and
repentance to other people.
Yeah, repentance to other humans. Anyway.
Yeah, and if you go to a therapist and say, I feel white guilt, instead of saying that's unhealthy, modern day therapy will say, well, that's good, and we should talk more about that. And it's good you feel guilty.
You're growing as a white person.
We will affirm your white guilt. And
it's so tough dealing with therapists and stuff like that these days.
No, it's so
our daughter has anxiety, and we've needed to get help for her. Just to have somebody to talk to, right? Like we think that it's important. And back in the day, you could take her to somebody and just have her talk to somebody about anxiety. Like she specifically struggles very badly with anxiety, sleeping at night, things like that. You can't do that anymore.
No,
they want you to leave the room, and you have no idea what this person is going to say to your daughter.
And you can't question it.
You're probably unhappy because you're internalizing being upset about being in the wrong body.
Right.
Right? Like you're probably not the person that you should be. You could consider maybe you need to change your name and change your haircut and change the clothes that you wear and things like that. Maybe that's it's like, again, in one generation, we've gone from like people trying to legitimately like help each other and love themselves, like for the good or the bad of that statement of like loving yourself, loving who you are, to automatically reject yourself if you're not some sort of, I can check a box and say that I'm not privileged for this reason type of a person.
Well, and the affirmation model of therapy is so damaging in so many aspects. To affirm somebody's, and you can't push back against someone who says, I feel dysphoric in whatever. You just say, okay, let's steer into that. Where it used to be, you do, what was it? Aversion therapy. And what's the one where you put someone in a box with spiders if they have arachnophobia?
What is
like
that called?
there's a word for it. I can't think. My brain's
That's called cruel and unusual punishment.
No, where
That's
you
it.
try exposure therapy, where you try to
That's it.
expose people to their phobias. And
That
now
happened
it's
in
all-
Harry Potter with Ron Weasley in the Forbidden Forest.
Fear factor.
Fear factor. But I'm totally with you, Dan. I have kids that I have had kids in therapy that I've pulled out right at the cusp of when things were shifting because you don't know. Even at the pediatrician's office now, they'll say, hey, do you mind stepping out? We have to ask kids. And the second a doctor does that, I say, we're never coming back to this doctor ever again. And I tell
anything
my
you can ask in front of my kid, you can ask.
Yeah, if you have anything, but I say if you have something to say that you can't say in front of me, A, you could talk to your dad. B, then we have a problem in our relationship because I build trust with my kids, and I believe very strongly that they can tell me anything, and if they can't, then I need to change who I am. But I've had doctors beforehand quietly hand my teenagers, little questionnaires. And just fill this out real quick. And they don't talk to me about it, and it's, do you ever feel whatever, like harming yourself or these really serious questions that I think are important to talk to teenagers about, but not without me there. I'm part of that conversation. I am with you, Dana. It's really hard. And it's sad that that's the way we've gone.
I understood what you were getting at with the exposure therapy, but and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know if there's ever been a case where someone just dumped a bunch of spiders on them in a box. I think it's mostly like, here's one spider, you know what I mean? Like very slowly, gradually introducing it. Not just like, oh no, now you're on fear factor. I'm just like, whoa.
Travis has a fear of pumpkins, and you see in the back, he has one pumpkin. Next week, it'll be 2, and then he'll be cured.
That's what I gradually introducing pumpkins into my life. Yeah. And that one's not even real. It's ceramic.
I have a deep psychological fear of snakes. Like I have a snake phobia. When I see them, I start going numb. And I have, like my husband said, maybe we should just have you hold snakes a whole bunch to see if we can break you. And no, I won't even go. I saw my dog got struck by a rattlesnake when I was 5 right in front of me, and it broke me. And I just I can't. We're like 4 feet away. He lived, but it was very touch and go. And I think if you gave me a snake, I've never held a snake. I've never gone near. If I see one on a trail, I literally. And I'm not an anti-bug person. I'll hold spiders and whatever. But yeah, I think you're right, Travis. If someone put me in a box with snakes, I would just lay down.
Just start dumping them all over you.
There are things that exposure therapy does work for. Public speaking is a good example of that. When you first start speaking publicly, it's nerve-wracking, and no matter what, I think that for most people, it definitely raises your adrenaline, raises your heart rate, even when you're used to it, right? But like the only way to get over it and get better at it is to do it a bunch. But then there's other things, like I have claustrophobia real bad. Bad. Exposure therapy is not going to work for claustrophobia. I don't think exposure therapy is going to work for you with snakes either. I think it's just going to make it worse. It's going to traumatize you. It's going to give you PTSD. On top
if we put Dan in a coffin, it's not going to help his situation.
No. Oh man.
I also have a significant fear of heights, which is interesting because I love flying.
You're a pilot.
Well, then we'll put you in a box with nothing but
little planes
suspended by a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
It's weird that flying doesn't in any way, shape, or form trigger in me any type of a fear of heights, but I get very disoriented and stuff like that near ledges and things like that. Like some people just don't. Some people, it's just like, you can walk across a balance beam across, between buildings or on the ground level, and it would be the exact same physical experience for them.
Right.
But obviously with most people it's not. But man, my fear of heights, especially ledges, like being near a ledge is intense. Like my body is like, you do not want to go over that ledge. But flying doesn't cause that at all. And I'm not really sure why. Flying,
probably because you're in control of flying to some extent.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when I'm not controlling it, not even when I'm not a pilot, I still am not afraid of heights. But it's weird because you would think that you would be, right? Like I don't like at the Sears Tower or whatever they call it now, Willis Tower. You go on that little glass thing and you look down and you can see that. I don't like that crap. Like I don't want to be on that thing. I'll do it.
But we do a lot of rock climbing. And I started off with a fear of heights, and it took maybe about a year. And now I'm pretty confident on the wall, even, with a rope. And I think a lot of it has to do with me trusting, like my husband's belaying me, and I really trust my husband. I don't know if someone else was on belay, if I'd feel the same, but it did at the beginning. I've had to
what?
On belay, off belay.
on belay. Like, yeah, when he's got me, he's like on rope down below. He's my support. And I've
shows
had
how much I do rock climbing.
Where I've had to free fall off a ledge for like 5 feet. Cause sometimes once you've summited a climb, you have to like fall back into your rope. And it's taken me 10, 15 minutes. But once you do that a few times of just free falling off of like a 70-foot ledge, you can do it, but it's terrifying. I'll say that.
So what's the weirdest fear that you guys think that you have? Mr. B, you go first. What's the weirdest fear that you have in your life?
Weirdest or scariest?
Weirdest. Most unusual fear.
I don't think I have a fear of clowns. I don't know if I have any weird fears. I'm petrified of snakes because when I was in camp, I was 5 years old.
They're evil.
You have a fear of accidentally taking laxatives and getting on a plane.
Yeah, there's a story. Here's a public service announcement. If you're flying from Florida to California, don't accidentally overdose on laxatives at 9 p.m. before you get on a 6 a.m. flight.
I'm so sorry. Wait, did this happen?
Yes, for Dan's 40th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite the birthday present.
Yeah.
And I actually also have a phobia of using public restrooms. So
you
that
do.
was a nightmare.
That is a weird fear. That is a weird. I don't have a fear of using public restrooms, but should because of my experiences.
Travis, I've talked a lot, but I have a very weird one, but I want to hear yours first.
Buses.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, now I think that's not a weird fear. I think that there's
Travis, would you tell that story real quick? Because I don't know if all of our listeners know about that.
I was riding my bike to the Babylon Bee to work. And I was just like,
the Babylon Bee is a concept, not a location, Travis.
You're right. To wherever it was at. It was a coffee shop. Basically, a bus just kind of was going to go into like the bus stop. And you wait for the bike to pass normally. But he didn't look at all. Like there's video footage of him just being like, this sort of, and the bus slammed right into me and I just went right down. Like my head went like against a curb or something. I was wearing a helmet. So that's why I'm still alive. No broken bones or anything because I'm unbreakable.
But, and he instantly could speak Mandarin Chinese.
That's the one benefit. Yeah.
Gosh.
That was actually supposed to be my joke answer, because and I thought it would get a laugh, but then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I understand." So now I feel bad. That was my joke answer.
I'm too much of a mom.
This has become a universal fear for all of us.
For some reason, I'm kind of afraid of owls. I don't know why.
Owls? I thought you said vowels at first, but
well, I mean, for another reason, vowels are a huge
He's
problem.
okay with Y sometimes.
I owe you, Travis, exposure therapy.
It's a fear of Wheels of Fortune, and you have to buy a vowel, and you're out of money.
You never have the money for it.
Yeah.
What about you, Robin? You said you had a weird one.
So this is very weird. And my husband knows about this. This isn't something I'm making up to be weird. When I was little, I had a ton of phobias. I was a very phobic child, and I had a very real, distinct fear of white. Okay, this is so Star Wars really did a number on me. No, white Jeep Cherokees, because I was deathly afraid of Stormtroopers when I was a little kid.
White Jeep Cherokees?
White Jeep Cherokees looked like Stormtroopers to me. And when I would see one, I would run up on the lawn. I was super scared because they looked like Stormtrooper heads coming down the road. And I had a deep fear of Stormtrooper, like a real, very, very scared. I was born in 1983. There was a lot of Star Wars happening. Sure. And for a long time, I think my parents even tried to take me to therapy because it wasn't just that. I had a lot of I was scared of flash floods, like really scared of flash floods. So when we go hiking, I would hike along like a ridge, even though if they were all hiking down in we were in California, so there wasn't a lot of, runoffs in the middle of the summer, but I really remember the white Jeep Cherokee thing was very bizarre. And cars in general scared me as a kid.
Just to be clear, just to be absolutely clear. So if a red Jeep Cherokee went by, you'd be like,
totally fine.
I love Jeeps.
But if you look one up, like an early 90s Jeep Cherokee, they were very smooth. Like they weren't boxy, kind of like they evolved into being. And they did. And Star Wars, Darth Vader, I was terrified of Darth Vader. The breathing, really, and now I can watch it and I'm fine, but they're not horror movies by any means, but I was just very skittish about that kind of stuff when I was a kid.
He just has a deep voice, that's all.
Yeah, but he's huge.
He's a very masculine voice.
You can't see his face, and when you're a little kid and you watch that, I'm sure some of our listeners had a Darth Vader thing when they were a kid. I would think.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was waiting for someone to say it.
I'm afraid. My new fear is afraid of watching a Netflix show with my kids in the room. A show that I have not pre-screened. That's my new fear.
What was it? What show was it?
Oh, any show, any Netflix show. It doesn't matter which one. Like seriously, like that is a traumatic experience. Like you watch Love on the Spectrum now, and then all of a sudden there's, I'm a lesbian autistic person. I love kissing girls. Kissing girls is normal. And I was like, you're trying to pause. You're like, what the heck is going on? They have Down for Love, which is a Down syndrome love show. And it's like, these are really wholesome shows. For the most part, the people who are featured on here are really funny. A lot of them are really strong Christians, the autistic people that are on there. And then they just throw the other stuff in there. Like, it's completely forced. They're not like, it's like, I think I like girls, maybe. And it's just like, I'm like trying to pause it. There's the Down for Love one with the Down syndrome girl. She decides in the middle of the show, she's into girls. And it's like, what is going on? What? This is just a show about people trying to find love, and then it's like everything gets twisted. Stranger Things obviously is like now not in Stranger Things season 5. Apparently, I haven't watched it yet, but apparently it's like being gay isn't just like a part of the plot line. It's like a superpower. Yeah.
Great. My kid's watching this. Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Robin, new fear unleashed.
I just thought, he's 16. I'm like, yeah, you can watch that. It
doesn't matter what you watch on Netflix anymore. Every single thing, it can't get onto Netflix without a message.
Yeah.
Without a message. It's like the new stupid, what's his name? The guy who does the documentaries, the one who just did the new American documentary.
Ken Burns.
His new documentary teaching us how America's evil and everybody. If they could go back and do it now, all of the founding fathers were actually Marxists and all this other stuff. It's just like I can't watch anything. I can't. My fear is watching shows that are made after the year 2017, say, with my kids present, without being able to screen them first for content. With that all said, let's look at the Babylon Bee, get some headlines done. And
which we're not afraid to let our kids read.
Actually, some of them are pretty bad. I'm afraid to let my kids develop the wrong sense of humor. I'm just joking, guys. None of you subscribers have ever submitted a bad headline. Ever. All right, let me
even the ones with like 5 run-on sentences.
Even the ones that are actually pretty bad.
Hey, Paul did that all the time.
Run-on sentences?
Paul. Tons of run-on sentences.
I was trying to figure out who Paul was.
And he wrote in the King James English as well.
Yeah, he's very
everybody knows that was the original. All right. Travit, you always have the honors. So let's read a couple of featured headlines.
From Tur 922, man at Walmart, sure he's not the kind of person who shops at Walmart. I mean, that's kind of true. It's like you're going in there and you're like, this is just a one-time thing.
This is a one-time deal.
Walmart is not Costco, but I will give this a hot dog reaction.
I can quit anytime.
Costco hot dogs. From Dr. Conservative Prof, hospital adds wing for patients to recover after seeing their bill.
Oh man.
They get another bill for that.
Gift card for that.
Gift card.
I feel like Conservative Prof, if you're watching this right now, which you may or not be, because I don't know if you make it to the end every single time, but if you do, you should consider strongly becoming a full-time writer for the Babylon Bee. I think that you've got what it takes. And I think that you've developed a lot. Like we've been publishing a lot of your headlines lately. It's very good.
He's very talented.
Very
talented.
From Bat Night, smart. Santa replaces elves and reindeer with jollier, more efficient Chick-fil-A employees.
It's adorable.
I kind of like
this one is burger because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead. We'll go do one more. Oh, another.
Speaking of prof. Dr. Conservative Prof, federal judge rules J6 pipe bomber must be white.
Pantone white. No,
Pantone.
cloud
Fancy
surfer.
dancer.
Cloud dancer.
It's cloud surfer.
Whatever it is.
Tiny
All right.
dancer.
Now, these are the ones that actually got published.
From Davil, atheists gather to celebrate the nothing for the season.
Uh-huh.
What do we say? We
And,
said atheists look forward to warmth and cheer of arbitrary cultural traditions with no transcendent meaning.
Little edit.
Yeah. Cross. All right.
Good. From can't even see what his Slaying Giants. Okay. Nation's special needs people kindly ask not to be compared to Tim Walz.
That one did amazing. It blew up. That one went super viral. Good job.
Have you guys seen the clip? Speaking of special needs and the R word that we said last week on our channel.
You're not allowed to say that.
Seen the clip? I think it's Borat when he's when he's at dinner with the people and he says he's retired and Borat says like you're retarded. He's like, no, not retarded, retired. He's like, it's good you let retards in here. You know that?
I have not. I've seen clips of Borat, but never the full enchilada.
You need to watch the enchilada.
You need to watch the full thing. That
I should.
When he got it was Paula Abdul. He got to use her landscapers, I think, as furniture or something like that. Like it's like
I've seen that.
the stuff he gets people to do.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable. That was a different era. You can't do anything like that anymore.
Well, Nathan For You is kind of a little bit the new Borat. He doesn't do quite as outrageous.
They knew, but Nathan For You doesn't. I mean, his show was on in like 2013 or something like that. That's not new anymore. It's not new. It's 12 years old.
It was so good though.
It was. Nathan For You was good. His new stuff that he actually does make isn't as good, but when he did become the pilot of the 747, that was pretty pretty impressive.
When he gets the chili suit, if you don't know what we're talking about, go on YouTube and look up Nathan For You. I can't tell if it's real or not.
No, it's real. 100%.
Can't all be real. It can't all be real. Mm-hmm. He did not get a morbidly obese man to tie a bunch of balloons to him to make him lighter on a horse. That can't be real.
People go along. The whole point of it is that people will go along with anything if there's a film crew. They'll go along with anything.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's just every time I watch it, I'm that person like, no way, no way. This is not real. This is totally staged.
The best episode, the one that he actually, I think he won some sort of award, whether it was a Emmy or whatever it is that you win for shows. He won an award for his show about the dumb Starbucks, where he made a parody of Starbucks and was actually able to serve coffee and use their actual logo and stuff like that because of parody law. I mean, some of the stuff it's very. It's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to pass the proverbial baton to Mr. B to ask us any personal questions you might have for us this week.
Okay, Robin, what is the most ridiculous thing you've ever Googled? And I'll tell you mine real quick. I Googled how tall is Seth Dillon, and it said 5 feet 3 inches. I couldn't believe he was that short.
I'm just looking at my most Tool Fibonacci sequence. I don't know. I Google a lot of weird stuff. Here's my last weather in Salt Lake City. Afton Ben Motherhood. She's that crazy lady. I Google mostly weather stuff. I can't think of anything crazy I've ever Googled. I go on Google. Mostly it's Wikipedia, which I know we're not supposed to be on Wikipedia because it's Marxist and everything, but I'll be reading something about, the flood of whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at, there was like the Great Molasses Flood, and it'll be 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm on Wikipedia clicking button after button after button. Usually it's celebrities. My kids and I went on a Dick Van Dyke. They didn't know who he was, which I thought was a real travesty. So this week we were Googling Dick Van Dyke and watching a bunch of clips. And then we were looking at clips of his wife from the 1940s. He was married in 1940. It's crazy. Anyway, I can't think of a weird thing. I'm sure weird moles and stuff that my kids have. My daughter has a swollen random thumb right now. So I'm like, pussy thumb wound? ? I don't know.
Okay, pussy thumb. You got it. You Googled pussy thumb. Love it.
Pussy
Gross.
All right, Travis.
Same question?
Yep.
Same answer.
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything. I know that yesterday I'm looking through my Google search history. I just typed in Armored Wings cartoon. So this was because we were having a discussion in the office, and one of our employees was just like, hey, do you guys remember this cartoon? It's from the 90s. They all had like armored wings or something. And I was just trying to find it for them. And it turns out no one had armored wings in the cartoon. He eventually found it. And it was not what he said it was.
Yeah.
He was a liar.
That is weird, Travis. Nice work.
Thank you.
All right, I'll show you mine. I have a visual. So this is my worst. I just did it. It is my worst Google of all time. What year did Lance Armstrong land on the
moon? Neil Armstrong.
It doesn't even address. It doesn't even address. It doesn't say you moron. What year did Lance Armstrong land on the moon? And then I just said to ChatGPT, draw Lance Armstrong on the moon. And it's not drawing Lance Armstrong. It's drawing Neil Armstrong and saying, no, you idiot. Draw Lance Armstrong.
Oh my gosh.
Does not compute.
Guys, this guy was such a genius. He was able to do things that even AI won't let us do. Lance Armstrong, it will not draw Lance Armstrong on the moon.
You got to find this guy, bro.
Let's see if it does it. It's loading right now. Let's see if it pops up. So it'll be a funny image to throw up for the end of the episode. Creating image.
I will admit, when you guys were first talking about Lance Armstrong on the moon and bicycles, I didn't even realize you weren't talking about Neil Armstrong. So if you go back and watch that clip, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Maybe it was Robin. Maybe Robin was the one who submitted this. She doesn't even know the difference.
She got hired, but she didn't get hired for that reason, so she's not going to say anything about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know who that weirdo was. Oh, geez. It's probably a dude.
Lunar Lance Armstrong, creating image. Why?
It's probably a white man.
Probably a white dude.
Most of my Google searches now are like for work, and they're for very specific things I want to find out for an article I'm writing. So one the other week was just, where are sycamore trees at the White House?
The bee gives me a lot of weird Google searches. What is Zin? That's one I had to look up this week because I had no idea.
Lance Armstrong on the moon.
There it is.
Hey.
But is that really Neil Armstrong under the helmet? It probably
No, it's Lance Armstrong. It's him for sure.
I like that they gave him like the
that's
breathing
the helmet that Travis was wearing when he got hit by the bus.
Got a visor?
That looks legit.
That looks faked.
He even has nice tires that you would think would look really well on moon
tires.
dust. Yeah.
He really needs like an actual suit though.
Is he's riding with the Postal Service like sponsoring him? Was that a thing that actually happened?
On the moon.
He's got 2 water bottles, which you need to hydrate when you're on the moon, so that's good.
Yeah. How does he drink the water through that helmet? He's going to die if he lifts the visor up.
Anyway,
think about this.
Dan, I'm going to end it here since you have to get to your party that you didn't invite us to.
I thought you were going to do one more thing by ending.
No, questions are done. You got to get to your party.
I got to get to my
cry
party.
ourselves to sleep in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys.
I'm going to have my own party.
Thank you for joining us for this week of Beyond Parody. And if you have not already, like this video, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell, do all the things that you do, and help us beat this algorithm, which we are still struggling with. But we're actually making positive strides. So thank you for helping us, and we'll see you guys next week.